Good morning and welcome to this October the 12th version of From Sunrise to Sunset with Pastor Gene. We are in week 2 of having regathered for our morning worship services, and we're delighted at the cooperation we're receiving, and we'll keep you posted through communications of the church as to what you can be looking for next. But in the meantime, thank you for your cheerful cooperation and all that we're trying to do for you. Today we're going to be looking at Matthew 24, and we're going to be looking at a rather long section of it from verses 1 through 28. And it's very important for us to understand that some of this is talking about a whole lot more than the end of the world. It sounds kind of grim at times, but there's a whole lot more here that I think when we're in serious Bible study we need to take into account. We're talking about an allusion here to the destruction of the temple. Now, of course, we know that the Gospels were written after Jesus' death. It wasn't like somebody was sitting there chronicling everything that was taking place. They were written after Jesus' death, so they would have knowledge of some things that had taken place after Jesus had already ascended into heaven. And the destruction of the temple was certainly one of those things. And Jesus alludes to it. Doesn't mean he didn't know or didn't foresee it coming, but he alludes to it when he talks about not one stone will be left upon another, there in verse 2. Another very important verse in this section of the scripture is verse 3, where he's sitting on the Mount of Olives, and the disciples are coming up to him privately, and they want to know about when the end of the age will be. Jesus is in a teaching mode at this particular point in the story, and he talks about the coming of birth pangs in verse 8. Now, birth pangs are not about the end of life, but about the beginning of life. And Jesus is talking about the beginning of new life here in this story. But it doesn't prevent him from hearkening back to the reminding truth of the kind of persecution that God's people have been through throughout the ages. Back in the 2nd century BC, about 166 years or so before Jesus arrived on the scene, there had been a ruthless leader named Antiochus IV Epiphanes. He was in many accounts seen as the most evil person that had ever lived. And he had done so many things that had desecrated the temple, that had made it, that were sacrilegious. And these are the kinds of things that are being alluded to here in verses 15 through 28. I think sometimes we tend to look for some kind of a secret treatment, a special treatment, to kind of feel better about some of the things that we know are coming, some of these false prophets and some of these persecutions and some of this sacrilegious activity and some of this lawlessness that's talked about here. But make no mistake about it, Jesus is not talking about some kind of secret rapture that is going to take place. He's talking about the destruction of the temple, and he's alluding to his own crucifixion that is about to happen. In fact, literally hours off from the way Matthew is telling this story, hours away from taking place. It's interesting that this section ends with this verse, wherever the corpse is, there the vultures will gather. A very grim reminder here for all of us that we go at one point from birth pangs, new life, to death. Wherever the corpse is, the vultures will gather. As we reflect on this passage, this grim passage here at the beginning of this week, I want you to think about the fact that the cross is coming and that Jesus is going there for us. And that corpse will become his own body. Does that bring new life to us in any way? And if so, how? And when? Sunset, sunrise. It's a lot to think about. And I hope you'll do that before next time.